Greetings to everyone out there in the No DQ galaxy. Welcome to the No DQ live recap of Monday Night Raw for October 7th, 2019, the post Hell in a Cell edition of Raw. We kicked off the show with a video package recapping the return of Bobby Lashley and the return of Lana, complete with the double cross, Lana joining up with Bob the Lash, of course. Then we had the opening video package by Skillet, followed by, instead of Pyro, we had Randy Orton and Baron Corbin attacking Rusev. I believe it was Randy Orton versus Rusev that was announced by WWE for Raw. We had Orton and Corbin beating down Rusev. He managed to fight both of them off. Then all of a sudden we had Bob the Lash appear on the big screen. He said that Rusev, I always do that. I always say Russo instead of Rusev. I'm thinking of Russo because Russo being involved in WWE would make the show better than what this show was. I'll just say that. Spoiler alert on what I thought about Raw this week. We had Lashley talk about how Rusev, there I got it right this time, doesn't look as comfortable as him. Lashley was there wearing Rusev's robe. He was in Rusev's house. And most importantly, he was in Rusev's bed. Well, maybe that's not the most important thing. The most important thing was what is not in the bed, and that's when Lana came in. Lana had a bathrobe, or some kind of outfit that she took off. She said that everything that her and Rusev own belong to her now. It's all hers. Lashley said that Rusev should have been spending money on Lana and not his family in Bulgaria. Then we had Lashley and Lana in bed together. They were about to get it on, and that's when Lashley turned off the lights. Baron Corbin and Randy Orton were laughing at Rusev. Corbin was like, "Are you crying?" And then Rusev just completely snapped, beat up both guys, yelled at them, "Are you laughing at me?" And that was the segment. Virtue in the chat room says, "Looks like money, smells like money." You know, I do mention Russo. I mean, this was very much not necessarily a Vince Russo segment, but something out of the Attitude Era. It was, it was what it was. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I guess it was something, some kind of storyline with these guys. Psycho Jet Black with the $2 super chat says, "Is Virtue more over than Bray Wyatt?" Anybody who's affiliated with No DQ is, well, more over than EC3 at least. Bray Wyatt, give it 6 months. If we keep going down the path we're going, that answer could be yes. But right now, Bray Wyatt's more over. Well, last week I would have said he's more over than anybody in No DQ. But now, I still think he is. But, man, again, got to give it 6 months. We got to see how this plays out. Maybe WWE can rebound with Bray Wyatt. That I don't know. And there was something with Bray Wyatt later on the show, so stay tuned for that. We had Lacey Evans versus Natalya in a last woman standing match. Lacy cut a promo before the match, said it's time to take out the trash. She had a trash can with Natalya's name on it. Natalya came out for the match, and basically it was a one-sided affair for pretty much the entire match. Lacy kept attacking Natalya with everything. She did a big swing to Natalya into the barricade. She pulled out a table but then changed her mind. She threw Natalya into one of the ringside chairs. She used a kendo stick. She hit her with a trash can. She suplexed her on the stage, suplexed her on the table, did all this stuff. Natalya kept getting up at 9. And then finally Natalya made a comeback, powerbombed Lacy off the stage through a table that just happened to be right there off of the stage. And that was the match. Natalya defeated Lacey Evans. It reminded me very much of one of those John Cena I Quit matches where Cena got beat up the entire match, came back, hit the attitude adjustment, and won. Maybe it was John Cena versus The Miz, if I'm not mistaken. That might have been the match I'm thinking of. So yeah. Mike B with a $5 super chat says, Lana's accent disappeared for that segment. I wonder if Lana smells like money now. And he puts on the pondering emoji. Well, congratulations to Mike B. And we'll say via the Bobby Lashley Dominator, Mike B is the new No DQ Super Chat Champion of the World. So I toast to you, Mike B. Since I do not have the Super Chat Championship, anytime you send in a $5 Super Chat, I will give you a little toast to congratulate your victory. But this coming Wednesday, AEW, I'm not sure what time I will be doing the AEW review next week. There may be a time delay with that, but I do plan on doing an AEW review at some point. It might end up being Thursday morning. I'm not sure at this time, but whenever I do that, the Super Chat Championship will be back. So yeah, regarding Lacey Evans and Natalya, I mean, I would have preferred a back and forth match, but I mean, whatever. It was okay for a Raw TV match. I'm not going to complain. It was decent. We had an Alistar Black promo. He talked about the draft and that he desperately wants a battle with somebody. And again, he asked somebody to knock on his door and pick a fight with him. Then we had the Street Profits backstage for their usual segment. They talked about the draft. They talked about Apollo Crews, Buddy Murphy, and then they talked about Drake Maverick. One of the Street Profits made a joke about Drake being like Steve Carell from the 40-Year-Old Virgin. Nobody laughed at this joke whatsoever, which leads me to believe one of two things. Either the joke was really bad, or, and maybe both of these are true, that this particular crowd was probably too young to even get what the joke was. Could be a combination of both. Probably was. This episode of Raw was in Bakersfield, California, so I tend to believe it was more of a casual, younger crowd. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, you look good for a late 30s white dude. Well, thank you. Other than the lack of hair on top, I feel I'm doing okay. Thank you for that. Moving on here, we had Tyson Fury interviewed backstage. He said that he just wanted to go to Raw to have a good time, but then Braun did what he did. He done goofed, and Tyson Fury said he was demanding an apology or else Braun is going to get his hands. Next up, we had the Viking Raiders versus Rudolph. There was barely an entrance for Rudolph, so you know what this means. Viking Raiders had a hot start. We had the heels make the comeback. Rude and Ziggler got a couple of near falls, but in the end, the Viking Experience put away Rudolph, and then later on the show, the Vikings did a promo and revealed that next week they will be getting a shot at the Raw Tag Team titles. By the way, I'm not sure if I missed it or not. Actually, I did not miss it. Alistar Black. So the follow-up to this, we had another Alistar video saying he was heading down to the ring to see if somebody wanted to pick a fight with him. We had the Singh brothers come out. They cut a promo, I guess with 205 up in the air. We're going to see more 205 Live guys on Raw and SmackDown. Last I've heard is that we are going to have 205 Live as part of NXT, and we're going to have the Cruiserweight title be renamed the NXT Cruiserweight title, which I think is the right way to go, quite frankly. I know people like Noah Foster love 205 Live to death, but it's just too much TV. It's too much. The product is very much oversaturated, in my opinion. So we had the Singh brothers cut this promo. They talked about how they're from Bollywood, and they were about to give their award-winning statement to explain why they should be the top draft picks. And that's when Alistar Black came out. He beat the crap out of both guys, won a quick match, and that was that. Alistar Black tapped out the Singh brothers, and yeah, Chris May says 205 Live matters, but it did not, at least in this particular match. Ken terminated by Google with a $5 super chat, so congratulations to Ken. Ken, via, let's see, which move can I give you as your victory move? How about the Rob Van Dam 5-star Frog Splash? Via the 5-star Frog Splash, easy for me to say, I toast you. You are the new No DQ Super Chat champion. He says, I am a 21-time Super Chat champion, which means it's time for a Blackjack tribute. Gives the last champion a mandible claw. By the way, happy birthday, Michael Wayne. Michael Wayne, happy birthday. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. And Psycho Jet Black with a $2 Super Chat says, Noah Foster is on 205 Live life support. Unfortunately, I feel like that is a very accurate statement there, Psycho Jet Black. Yeah, guys, in case you're wondering, my voice is a little shot here. It's been a long weekend between SmackDown, Hell in a Cell, and just a lot of other things going on this weekend. I barely have any voice left, so at least I'll have a 2-day break until AEW, and then it's back to the grind again. Gary with a $2 Super Chat says, wake me up at 8 a.m. on Wednesday, or not 8 a.m., 8 p.m. Jesus. I'm on West Coast time right now, and I'm still not getting it right. 8 p.m. on Wednesday. And he says, hashtag, I'm with AEW. Adam says, did anyone mention the Brazers tweet to WWE? I'm sure WWE saw the tweet, and I know a lot of people on Twitter are thinking that the segment with Lana and Lashley was some kind of response to the Brazers tweet. The Rock's Jockstrap with a $2 Super Chat says, Niners are 4-0, Raw sucked, no surprise, hashtag 49ers. Wow, I can really not read comments here tonight. I apologize, guys. Thank you for that Super Chat. I do appreciate it. Ken, terminated by Google with a $5 Super Chat. So once again, my man Ken is the new reigning and defending No DQ Super Chat champion. Actually, he already was. So he beat himself. Ken beat himself to win the championship. He says, sorry to correct you again, Mr. Rift. I used the Mulligan Claw, RIP Blackjack Mulligan. Well, thank you for that, Ken. But then right away, Mohammed Hassan comes in with a $7 Super Chat to dethrone Ken via the Camel Clutch. He says, Vince needs to ride off into the sunset with Cena and Reigns. Oh, Mohammed Hassan, I know you and your absolute love for the champ John Cena and the big dog Roman Reigns. Mohammed Hassan is back in the house. But thank you very much for that Super Chat. I appreciate it. Mohammed Hassan with a $2.79 Super Chat says, I vacate the title to Osama bin Laden. Wow. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The deceased Osama bin Laden is the new No DQ Super Chat champion. Toast? All right. Moving on here, we had a recap video of SmackDown, which took up several minutes of Monday Night Raw time. And then we had a Braun Strowman interview. He talked about how he was just messing around with Tyson Fury and says that Tyson may throw a mean punch, but so does he. And says Tyson better be nice if he wants an apology. Then we had another SmackDown recap, which was of Brock Lesnar capturing the WWE Championship from Kofi Kingston in 8 seconds. Then we had Rey Mysterio interviewed backstage. He thanked the superstars and the WWE Universe for supporting him after what happened to Dominic. He said that Dominic took his beating like a man and he'll be able to heal fairly quickly, physically. Mentally, though, it's going to take a bit longer. And Rey added that Dominic is at home. He's resting up. He's up for the task as far as getting back on that horse goes. Rey talked about how he felt helpless with what Brock Lesnar did, destroying his son. He felt like he let his son and his family down. But then he talked about Cain Velasquez appearing and said that Cain showed up to avenge what happened. And there you have it. At this point, no mention of when we might see Brock versus Cain, but word on the street is that it's taking place at the upcoming Crown Jewel pay-per-view. Ooh, Crown Jewel 2. You get to see Brock versus Cain. You're most likely going to see Strowman versus Tyson Fury. Going to be an interesting night. Team Hogan versus Team Flair. You might get to see some people run into a Hulk Hogan foot. Going to be an epic showdown, ladies and gentlemen. Crown Jewel in the glorious kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Psycho Jet Black with a $5 super chat. So once again, Psycho Jet Black, the new No DQ super chat champion. Thank you for that. He says, I vacate the title to the first president of the United States, George Washington. How about that? Now we're talking. Psycho Jet Black with a babyface move right there, taking the title from the evil Osama bin Laden and giving it to our great American hero, the first president of the United States of America, the man who set the standard for what the presidency is all about, the great George Washington. And he adds, will Seth Rollins get booed Roman Reigns style when he gets back? Well, I'm guessing WWE is hoping that doesn't happen, and that's why they kept him off the show tonight. I don't know if it's going to work. See, I feel like WWE has really been dropping the ball with not Roman Reigns. Well, you could argue that too, although the crowd, they did boo Reigns a little bit on SmackDown, but they're still mostly cheering him. But with Seth, definitely. The ball has been dropped with Seth badly. The WWE has managed to make his character very unlikable, and the interviews he's done, just everything about his character has just not made him a likable guy. And the fans have been turning against him. So yeah, he very much is starting to turn into the new Roman Reigns as far as the heat goes. Maybe that's by design. Maybe WWE wants the heat on Rollins instead of Reigns. Who knows? And The Rock's jockstrap with a $2 super chat says, would the company be better after Vince McMahon is dead? That's the $1 million question everyone asks. I do not want to see Vince die, but it's quite possible the company will be better when he's not running the company. I'd rather he would just step down and let Triple H and Stephanie take over. But then again, you mentioned that one line, which was from CM Punk, and the other line is, does it really matter because it's going to be the doofus son-in-law and the idiotic daughter running the company? So, a lot of question marks, but yeah, I think WWE will survive without Vince and could very well be better. Like, I cannot see it getting worse. I really don't. Let's see here. Mike B with a $5 super chat, so congratulations. Mike B with a concerto to regain his title. He says, please, please save the WWE Paul Levesque, please. And he does the little prayer emoji. Thank you for that, Mike B, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree with that sentiment. Congratulations on being the new No DQ Super Chat champion of the No DQ Galaxy. We had an Authors of Pain video. They talked about how no other tag team has the killer instinct like them that runs through their veins. They said that they will take the food, the money, and the careers of their opposition and they will be the ones to do the violence. Good promo, and maybe we'll see them in tag team title contention fairly soon. I'll talk about that here in a few minutes. We had the OC, the original club, against the Lucha House Party. Not a whole lot to say about it. The Lucha guys had a little bit of momentum. They did their triple moonsault to the outside of the ring, which, by the way, I'm surprised that WWE has people doing the same moves on the same show. Charlotte is known for doing her moonsault to the outside. So if you know Charlotte's being booked for a match, if you're a WWE agent or a producer, why would you have another team that does a moonsault to the outside on the same show that Charlotte's doing one? Just doesn't make sense to me. It waters down Charlotte's moonsault because, hey, you just saw 3 guys do the same move at the same time. That looked more impressive than what Charlotte did. Just saying. Anyways, pretty much a squash match. Other than that, it was all a showcase from the OC. Phenomenal forearm to Kalisto, and OC picks up the victory. There was an additional beatdown after the match. AJ did the Styles Clash from the second rope, and that was that. Muhammad Hassan with a $7 Super Chat. Once again, no DQ Super Chat champion. Toast to Muhammad Hassan. He says there are reports out there saying The Fiend will get the title at Crown Jewel, but will drop it to John Cena at WrestleMania. I have not heard that rumor, so I have no idea about that one. And plus, John Cena already has not expressed any interest in getting involved in these shows now. I know he previously went to Saudi Arabia, but now that his movie career is in high gear, he's got the same attitude as The Rock, He doesn't want that negative publicity. I don't think we're going to see John Cena in Saudi Arabia again. Just my feeling, I don't think that there is any truth to that rumor. Moving on here, we had The Miz come out for his Miz TV segment. We had Becky Lynch and Charlotte interviewed by The Miz. Miz talked about their accomplishments, talked about the draft and how directions can change. Both of them could end up on the same show, or they could switch shows, which is just weird considering Becky's the Raw champion. So would she be drafted to SmackDown and stay Raw Women's Champion? WWE did not really explain how that's going to work, but I guess that is a possibility, so whatever. They started taking some jabs at each other. Becky mentioned how Asuka beat her at the Royal Rumble, and she wants to wrong that right. We had the Kabuki Warriors come out. They cut a promo in Spanish, or not Spanish, Japanese again. I should really be doing better here. It's 8:30 at night. It's not friggin' 11:30, and I'm just completely off here. Japanese, and I'm sure somebody in the chat's going to say all the languages sound the same to him because he's a white guy. I'm sure I'll get that comment. No, I just misspoke, that's all. We had the tag team match, which was interesting outcome here. I was thinking when this match was announced, we're gonna have the new tag team champions lose their first match, because that's how the women's tag team titles roll in WWE. The champions always seem to lose. But this time, we actually had the tag team champions look strong. Becky got the disarm her on Kairi Sane, and that's when Asuka came in and did the mist once again. Second night in a row, she did the mist to Becky, although she missed it first and then managed to get Becky with a little bit of the mist. Then Kairi rolled up Becky and scored the pinfall victory. So yes, the Kabuki Warriors defeated Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions. Nice surprise here. I was definitely pleasantly surprised with this outcome. Because I think the Kabuki Warriors much more needed this victory than Becky and Charlotte. Becky losing via the Mist doesn't hurt her at all. So I thought that this was a good booking decision. You establish the Kabuki Warriors as a heel threat. You take the title seriously. Thumbs up. This was a good segment. The Game is on 100 with a $2 super chat says, I like the green mist from Asuka to Becky a la Muta. A lot of people like the mist. I'm glad WWE brought it back for Asuka. At least it gives her something to do now. And, you're rebuilding Asuka in WWE. So good stuff here. They continued to attack Becky after the match, and that's when Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss made the save. And I'm guessing at some point we will get a rematch between those teams. Power Packers 90 with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Power Packers 90. Toast to you. We'll say that you win the championship via the One-Winged Angel. Since you are the resident AEW superfan, Power Packers 90, he says, AEW, babyface underdog Japanese woman is the first women's champion. WWE, heels that don't speak American. Hashtag, I'm with AEW. There's nothing wrong with the Kabuki Warriors being heels. I mean, it feels kind of weird for Kairi to be a heel, but I always thought Asuka did well as a heel. I always thought she came off more intimidating, so I'm fine with it, and it's giving them a renewed push. I don't have a problem with them being heels and doing the mist gimmick. I think it's pretty cool, personally. So, hashtag, I'm with the Kabuki Warriors. So there you go. I would have preferred if the heel turn was actually done gradually instead of just throwing it out there. But hey, at least it's something for them. And I do agree with OG Crushes. Kairi Sane is a natural babyface. So it's a little weird with her being a heel, but maybe they'll make it work. I was critical of Sami Zayn going heel, and he turned out to be great. So there you go. Backstage, we had an Apollo interview. He talked about how it's an honor to be in a match with Ricochet. He said he's been waiting, he's been patient, he's been grinding, but tonight he has something to prove. It's nothing personal against Ricochet, but this match is going to be his showcase. We had the match, Ricochet versus Apollo. There's a handshake. They were buddy-buddy. Pretty quick match here. Ricochet picked up the win. And I don't know if this means an eventual Apollo heel turn, but maybe it was just a one-off. I don't know. But I thought the whole thing of them being friendly was maybe going to start building up to an eventual Apollo heel turn. I don't know. I feel they need to do something with Apollo. He's been stale for the longest time, and he could definitely use some kind of character change or some kind of evolution with his character. But knowing WWE, there might not be any follow-up to this. We might not see Apollo Crews for another 6 months. Who knows? We had the one and only reference or any kind of acknowledgement of the Hell in a Cell match between Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt, which, what's his name? Vic Joseph, right? Vic Joseph said was downright disturbing. That's how he described the match from Hell in a Cell. That's putting it mildly. It was disturbing. It sure was there, Vic. We had this recap video just showing the highlights from the match. And when it was over, you could hear the boos in the arena, but WWE immediately cut away to this music with Tyson Fury walking down to the ring. And there was no actual follow-up as far as like, where was Seth Rollins? Why wasn't he there? Why wasn't Bray Wyatt there? Other than the video recap, nothing from either guy. Ken terminated by Google. Once again, the No DQ Super Chat champion. So toast goes out to you, Ken. We'll say you win the championship with the Chris Jericho Lion Tamer. I think the other night we did the Judas effect. So you win it via the Lion Tamer. He says, since I am a 23-time champion, I think I'll use the... Okay, he's going into business for himself here, so I got to read the comment first. He says, I'll use the 1, 2, 3 kids spin kick By the way, majority of the chat room thinks Hassan is a troll. What do you think, Rift? I mean, probably. Would not surprise me. I mean, No DQ breeds trolls, right? Just head over to nodqforums.com and you'll know what I'm talking about. We had the main event segment, which was the big Tyson Fury, Braun Strowman confrontation. By the way, it's possible WWE just didn't say anything about Rollins for a number of reasons. First one is what I mentioned earlier. You don't want Rollins on the show because he'll get booed, and you want to see if people just let it die down and let the heat die down. Number two, Bray Wyatt was injured, apparently, and that's why he wasn't even able to do anything on the show, so why bother? So I think that WWE just decided, not to follow up on, and also to have the guys actually sell the beating of the match, They pretty much murdered each other. Rollins hit Wyatt with the kitchen sink. Well, not literally, but pretty much everything but the kitchen sink. And Bray had made Rollins bleed at the end of the show. So, yeah, you got to have those guys sell the beatings. But there was no mention of that. No mentioning that the guys were recuperating or nothing. Psycho Jet Black with a $5 super chat. He says, I win the title via 20 curb stomps, and he vacates the championship to Homer Simpson. Homer Simpson? He says, also, what will happen to the women's tag and 24/7 titles after the draft? Well, women's tag team titles, I think should be on both brands. I don't know if WWE is going to make it exclusive to one show, but that's a great question, and WWE has not explained it. 24/7 title, as far as I'm concerned, can go into that Natalya trash can from earlier on Raw. I think the 24/7 title is pretty much done. You got some entertainment out of it, but I think WWE ran out of ideas. I really don't think they can do anything else unique with it that hasn't already been done now. So we had Jerry Lawler introduce Tyson Fury for our main event segment. Tyson said he was minding his own business, but Strowman tried to make a fool out of him. Strowman came out, said he was just trying to have a little fun. He says the last thing Fury wants to do is get in his way because he will literally eat him for lunch. So I guess Braun Strowman is a cannibal. Fury responded by saying it's a good thing security stopped him because he would have knocked out Strowman. And then Strowman talked about the fight that Tyson Fury had that I've never seen before. And then Fury responded by saying, how many championships have you won, Strowman? Strowman then got shoved by Fury. And then Strowman picked up Fury and drove him into the corner. And that's when all the security immediately came in. We had the go-to segment. Whenever WWE wants to make sure the crowd is into a segment, you got to do the classic pull-apart brawl. Crowd cheering 101. This is how you do it. You have the security out there. You have these two guys separated. Crowd chants, let them fight. It works every single time. Easiest way to get the crowd behind something. And, it worked. Because it always works. It's literally the easiest thing to get the crowd cheering. Wasn't really a very good pull-apart brawl, though. Tyson Fury started throwing punches, and let's just say I feel like while he's a legitimate fighter, he could throw a real good punch. As far as throwing worked punches go, he learned from the Shane McMahon school of throwing punches. Let's just say that. Ken terminated by Google with a $5 super chat. So Ken says he calls Ned Flanders, and Ned uses Freddy Krueger's razor-sharp claws to defeat Homer Simpson. And he says, by the way, everyone loves Ned Flanders, with a smiley face. Oakley dokley, congratulations to Ken. Like your creativity there with the Super Chat Championship victory. Hats off to you for being the new champion once again. Adam says new episodes of Simpsons are better than WWE. I'm not sure I would go that far. I did watch the first episode of the new episode last week, and I'm struggling to remember what it was about. It was something... Oh, it was with the viral video. Homer and Bart were doing these YouTube videos where they fight, and some guy from some company started being their agent or something. It was stupid. I did not laugh once the entire episode. So yeah, I would say this Raw was better than that Simpsons episode, and this is somebody that loves the Simpsons. Anyways, yes, Homer Simpson is more over than EC3. At least 90s Homer. 2019 Homer, that's debatable. But anyways, back to the pull apart brawl. The WWE locker room came out, and finally Strowman walked to the back. Strowman said that Fury is one tough son of a bitch, but he's going to get these hands. Strowman said that Fury gets no apology, and then Strowman started to walk back to the ring, and that's when Raw just abruptly went off the air because, 8 o'clock, or 11 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever. The show goes off the air, no overrun. Unless you're NXT. Then you get the overrun, and it doesn't even matter. You still get beat by AEW. And let's see, Oofman Rules with a $2 super chat says, stupid, sexy Flanders. It's like he's wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. All right, so now we do the letter grade from Monday Night Raw. It was a lame duck show. I mean, next week is the big show. I mean, Friday is the start of the draft, and then Monday. This was a throwaway Raw. Nothing to it. I don't think it was quite as bad as some people thought it was, but I certainly wasn't really all that excited by it. So I did like the tag team match with the women. I thought that was the highlight of the show. I give it a C minus. I thought it was slightly below average, but I don't think it was an absolute terrible show. I thought it was okay, but not anything you need to go out of your way to watch. CC Drink gives it a C minus. Mr. Anderson with an F. Chris Mace with the big F. The Game is on C. Media One Software with an F. J Spin 401 with an F. W Glass 90 says C, and that's being generous. 90s Guy says a big giant C. Harley with a D. Supernamic 2121 with a D minus. D Ross 2 with an F. Power Packers 90, resident AEW fan with an F minus. Daniel with an F. Blood Raven with an F. So, lots of Fs here. Now, are you guys just saying this because you're still mad about Hell in a Cell, or did you really think, try not to think of Wyatt and Rollins. Put that aside, and do you really think that this was an F Raw? Psycho Jet Black with a $5 super chat, which means Psycho Jet Black is the brand new reigning and defending No DQ super chat champion. He says, Ned Flanders vacates the title to his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Also, No DQ is more entertaining than Monday Night Raw. Thank you, Mr. Rift. No, thank you, Psycho Jet Black, for tuning in and supporting. I very much appreciate it. And there you go. Jesus is the new No DQ Super Chat champion. So who is going to take care of Jesus now? Who's going to be the heathen to win the championship from Jesus? We'll find out here, I guess, in a minute. Who's got the guts to do it? Who has the guts to test fate and beat Jesus for the coveted No DQ Super Chat Championship of the World, which tonight is being represented by this cup because I forgot to bring the championship to California. But next time, next video, I will be back to discuss AEW. Again, it might not be Wednesday night, it might be Thursday, but there will be a video. I will watch and review AEW. I will let you guys know. At the least, it might be delayed a little bit, but it should be up sometime Wednesday night, Thursday morning, somewhere. You guys will get the AEW review video. No DQ review with Team No DQ should be going up back in action later this week. I'm sure we'll all have some interesting things to say as a group. And then Friday night, SmackDown. Got to get this new schedule. Got to get in the groove with it. Get used to it. What will happen to Jeff Hardy? I did talk about this with Jeff on Friday. In my opinion, he should be fired. Like I said on the Friday night video, Jeff Hardy should be punished. WWE should set an example, but the reality is they don't want him going to AEW. They don't want Jimmy Uso going to AEW, so they're just going to release these little press releases saying Jimmy Uso is responsible for his own actions, or Jeff Hardy is responsible for his own actions. What is it going to take to fire these guys? Do they actually have to hurt somebody in a car accident to get fired? I mean, it doesn't matter whether they hit somebody or not. The bottom line is, for these guys, it's not their first offense. If it was their first offense, you could say, well, we'll suspend them. They can get a second chance. But, I mean, to me, it's clear these guys cannot take care of themselves. If they're driving while under the influence, then they got some serious issues that need to be dealt with. And honestly, I think WWE is enabling them. By not firing them, it's showing that it's okay. That, you know, they're not going to be held accountable for their actions. So that's my take on it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest. Lots of news going on, coming off of Hell in a Cell. We got AEW coming up. Lots more to talk about. It's been a very busy period in the world of wrestling. Make sure you guys check out the fantasy draft video that I did with Jeff. And also the NoDQ.com Hall of Fame is coming up. And you guys can submit nominations at NoDQ.com. Jeff and I will have some videos up for those categories. Stay tuned for that. Looks like Jesus is going to be happy tonight. He'll be able to rest in the heavens with the No DQ Super Chat Championship. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.